Hey, what up guys? As the title of the video says, I gone and bought the Autoflex driver shaft. You're probably used to seeing it in the pink and black colorway. I got mine in the limited edition blue and red colorway, and this is my very first round with this guy, and I had no practice with it. I wanted to get my true first impressions of the driver shaft. I got this in the stiff flex equivalent for my Ping G425 Max. And yeah, let's head out to the course, get my first impressions, and see how this bad boy performs. Alright, I bet you weren't expecting to see me in the lower right hand corner of this video, but I wanted to commentate on pretty much the round and give my impressions of this driver. So this is the first drive, we're going to let it go here. And yeah, pretty much I hit a pretty good one. Didn't swing out of my butt or anything, but for as easy as it was to hit that, I'm gonna pause it real quick. I really felt like that it was a pretty smooth swing, that I hit it in the center of the fairway and pretty much didn't go that far, so I was kind of disappointed with the results of how far it went, but nonetheless I was in the middle of the fairway. So as we play through my other shots here, hit a pretty decent second shot into the green. This is a par 5, only 478 yards. I was thinking to myself, okay, how do I want to approach this? And I pretty much approached this round, especially with the driver, on how I would have my gamer swing. So normal speed, wasn't going to try too many drives that were super like high speed. Just my normal swing to see if there was going to be any difference between my normal swing and this driver shaft. So I'm going to pause this at the top here. Normally I don't take out driver here, so I aimed a little bit to the right hoping to play a fade. Naturally my ball does fade. However, this time and throughout the rest of this round, you'll see that I haven't faded the ball whatsoever. So I'm going to play through here. And yeah, I thought this was going to roll into this bushes, and luckily it stayed short. And I hit it 250 yards, so hit it pretty decent. Like I said, normal gamer swing speed. And I end up hitting a pretty good shot into the green. So yeah, second drive ever with this Autoflex driver shaft, and it was pretty good results. But all things that are great must come to an end. Here's the first duff, I would guess you would say. Ended up hooking this one to the left. Doesn't go very high. Only goes like 200 and maybe 20 yards because it hits the sand trap on the left and it kills all the speed. And yeah, so kind of bringing me back down to earth here with the third drive ever with the Autoflex shaft. That being said, pretty much, bump and run gang, where you at? And yeah, at this point, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, not the easiest to return the club to the ball in terms of this shaft, but you know what? We're going to continue on. So I'm just going to talk over this par 3 hole here. I have taken this shaft out since this round a couple more times, and so far it's been, nothing revolutionary. I'll be honest. As you can see me duffing around this whole entire par 3, I think I still need to learn how to hit it. And I think with all new golf equipment, you have to have a break-in period where you pretty much learn how to best use the clubs that you purchased or acquired. Unless you get fitted, then it's ready to go for your swing. So here is, I'm going to pause this, a par 4 that I normally hit pretty good, and this is only 350 yards, and I'm gonna a little bit faster swing speed, but anytime I swing pretty hard with the shaft, I just go dead left. Not dead left, it does hook a little bit, but it never goes right. So since I've recorded this video, I've tried adjusting the settings, but let's unpause. And pretty much as you can see here, I hit it pretty hard, but it doesn't go very straight. I always play a little baby fade, and this went up the left hand side. It only went, not all that far. So second shot onto the green, I pulled it, and pretty much I have a long putt now for my birdie. But yeah, another thing to note is that this is kind of the first round that I've played, and I took a couple weeks off. Not making an excuse for myself, but pretty much, yeah, maybe that was the case. But so far, consecutive rounds after this that I've played, I've not really missed anything to the right. So here is another example where it goes dead left, end up losing this ball and having to re-tee. And I really wanted to go for it because this hole takes advantage of, a really good drive. And this one I popped up pretty high, and it doesn't go anywhere. It only goes like 196 yards. So, this immense speed that this Autoflex promises doesn't hasn't delivered for me yet on this very first round. That being said, this is make a mess out of this hole. End up chipping this one short after, being short on my approach into the green. Scotty Cameron putter. Now I'm like this super expensive golf club set that I have nothing to show for, but not very good scores. But end up getting a triple here because I hit a ball out of bounds. So this next shot, pretty much, the par 3, so I can talk over this one. At this point in the round, I'm thinking, man, I'm not seeing the speeds in which people or this shaft promises, and so pretty much, I'm thinking to myself, okay, this next hole, it's pretty wide open. I'm gonna go for it and really try to stay still and make really good contact because it's so whippy that, like I said, it's hard to make the ball go back or the club head get back to the ball. It kind of loses, the feeling of the club head when I swing through it, and makes it difficult to hit a good swing or good shot. But this one, man, I hit this one pretty good down the center of the fairway, 260 yards. Feeling pretty good about that. So I will say anything above 250 I consider a pretty dang good drive, because usually I hit 250 tops with my gamer swing speed, and then I really try to keep it in play. So it's, floats around 240, 235 to 250. So anytime I hit above 250 with ease, that's considered a gain for me. So I end up hitting that one 260, missed my little bogey tap in, and then end up picking, or my par chip, and end up tapping in for bogey here. So moving on to the next. All right, I'm gonna pause it. So before I make contact with this swing, I really went for this, try to go really hard at it, and just to see what this thing can do. And I think overall I learned that maybe I need to tee it up a little bit higher after all this was said and done. But I'll play through the video and pretty much, hit this one up the left-hand side with a draw. Hit it 260, but hit it nowhere near where I was aimed. So up the left-hand side. So I'm not used to this driver going to the left. And I must say it is a little different for me. So that's something I need to get used to. If it's going to be playing a right to left shot with that particular shaft, I need to start playing that more. So this one ends up missing for a birdie, end up picking a par here, and we're moving on to the 10th hole. So I'm going to pause it here. Normally I don't take driver out here. I usually end up, on the right side of the fairway because I fade the ball just over the sand trap on the right hand side. But this one, since everything was going left, I kind of played for it and hit a pretty good drive. So I'm on pause. And this one ends up being pretty good. And I don't put a super hard swing on it. And like you can see, it's 250 yards and pretty much what I'm used to in terms of total distance. So end up hitting this one in the middle of the green, and I have a long one for my birdie. But overall, I would say first impressions, I'm not seeing a distance gain that, this driver shaft promises. And so we're going to have to play with it a lot more to see if it's something that is definitely worth your money. And that's a good conversation to have, because this thing is $650, right? So it's pretty expensive. This shot ends up being pretty good over that 250 mark, and it was a pretty normal driver swing. So everything is kind of relative here. I do think that there is a tiny bit of distance gain, but there's more inconsistency here than not because of how whippy the shaft is. That's what I've noticed. If I put a good swing on it, I think it goes definitely a little bit further than my previous driver shaft, but it's not like anything super crazy. I do plan on getting it on a Trackman and pretty much, on a sim to get the actual numbers. But that was pretty much the last drive in that previous hole. And so on this last par 3, I end up getting a birdie here. My, impressions are pretty much like, hey, it is good. I think there's a little bit distance to be gained, but it's not $650 good. Action. So let's head out to the outro. As you can see, as I said in the video when I was talking along, I think there is some distance that is gained if you hit it really good. That being said, there's so much flex in this driver shaft that I think it's really hard to make good contact. So it's going to take some practice. I'm a true believer of hey, if you get something new, you got to practice with it and learn how to hit it, just like anything new that you pick up in golf. So I hope to, gain this for the foreseeable future. I do think there are gains to be made, although it's going to have to really, outweigh the inconsistencies that I'm seeing it provide so far. Because with my previous shaft, I just play a baby fade, hit it like 245, maybe 250 on a good day. you know, quite consistently. But with this, I feel like there's, you know, maybe 260, you know, if I hit it consistently, and then maybe even more if I really go for it on the course with my gamer swing. So you're gonna see this a lot more. Stay subscribed to see this shaft in more future videos, but hope you guys enjoyed that one. Keep chasing, and I'll see you in the next one.